Hey guys, I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. In the past, I've made a few videos trying to fix Jurassic World Dominion's final battle, and I just had a thought. Now bear with me on this one, but I thought to myself, why stop at the final battle? Why not fix the entire movie? So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. But before we dive into it, let me share with you a general idea on how I would have written Jurassic World Dominion. Firstly, the movie would be split into two parts. Part 1 would be released on the day the original movie was released, and Part 2 would be released the following year. The Atrociraptors would get a much bigger role, especially in Part 2, but we'll get to that later. Also, there is no such thing as plot armor in this movie, which means anyone could die, and at least one of the main characters is going to die, maybe more. There will also be no locusts in my version of the film whatsoever. Lastly, the Giganotosaurus will be more of an Indominus Rex level threat, and it would be a lot more aggressive. I even have an idea for the backstory. In today's video, we will be talking about Part 1, and in the next video, Part 2. Without further ado, here is my plot on Jurassic World Dominion Part 1. Part 1 of my version of Dominion would be similar to how the original film was, but since there are no locusts, it gives the film more time to go in depth on the Giganotosaurus. The movie begins in the Manticore facility sometime in 2014, and Lewis Dodgson, along with a live-action Daniel Kahn, are checking the process on some of the new dinosaurs that were shipped over from Biosyn Valley. New dinosaurs were delivered to be experimented on with the mind control devices, and the Giganotosaurus was one of those specimens. It was placed in a crate, and throughout Part 1 of the film, the Giga doesn't reveal itself to the audience until the end, building up the tension and suspense. You only see glimpses of its eyes, feet, hands, teeth, or shadow, and you hear growling and roaring. As one of the staff members went to place the mind control device on the dinosaur, the Giganotosaurus went crazy and attempted to break out. The other men tried to seduce it with the electric prods, but that only agitated the creature even more, and soon it broke free from its prison. All you can see is men getting eaten and reacting to what's going on, along with the occasional shadow or tail of the creature. Then the Giganotosaurus proceeds to rampage across the facility, killing everything in its wake, including Big Edie's mate and Little Edie's father. Soon it comes across the Spinosaurus, and this is where we show the Giganotosaurus's true power. Initially, there were two Spinosaurs in the facility, Asset 87 and one other. The other Spinosaurus charged in and tried to fight the Giganotosaurus and didn't go down easy. The Spino got some good hits in, but it wasn't enough, and the Giga grabbed its spine and broke it, killing the Spinosaurus. Asset 87 was forced to retreat after watching his friend get killed by the monster. By this point, Manticorp had gotten choppers and tanks involved and attempted to bring the Giganotosaurus down. After many casualties, the dinosaur was finally captured and recontained into the crate, and Dodgson had the creature shipped back to Biosyn Valley for security reasons. Fast forward to 8 years later, and the events play out similar to how they did in the original film, where Beta and Maisie get kidnapped, and it's up to Owen and Claire to get them back. The original trio still make an appearance after they were invited by Dodgson to visit the valley. Grant and Sattler talk with Ramsey Cole about the specimens on the island, and they shiver when he mentions the Giganotosaurus and its dark past. Meanwhile, Owen and Claire meet up with Kayla Watts after escaping Soyona Santos' Atrociraptor squad in Malta, and they head over to Biosyn to rescue Beta and Maisie. The events play out similar, with Claire encountering the Therizinosaurus and Owen and Kayla encountering Rexy and the Giganotosaurus. Only this time, when Rexy is eating the deer and the ground begins to shake, followed by growling and roaring, she immediately retreats instead of standing her ground. The duo see the dinosaur for the first time, and Owen immediately thinks Allosaurus, but Kayla corrects him and says Giganotosaurus. As they observed the specimen, Owen couldn't help but feel like something was familiar, but he couldn't quite place it. The Giga takes the deer carcass while still not revealing itself to the audience, and it walks away. Meanwhile, Maisie and Beta escape Dodgson and Dr. Wu, just like they did in the original, and Maisie bumps into Grant and Sattler. They also run into the Dimetrodons just like they did in the original. Later on, when they're all reunited, they encounter the Giganotosaurus again, who finally reveals itself to the audience, and Owen managed to get a good look at it and realized, oh my god, this thing is part Indominus. The creature lets out a loud roar and goes after the humans. It's only scared off after Claire tasers it in the eye with an electric prod and Dr. Malcolm threw a torch in its mouth. While all of this was happening, one of the lit torches set the valley on fire, and now the group has to try and escape the valley. They get to the center and try to take a helicopter out, but are stopped by Louis Dodgson, who had survived his encounter with the Dilophosaurs. He holds the group at gunpoint and demands them to give back Maisie and Beta, but after they refuse, he's about to shoot them when they hear a roar and the ground shaking. Rexy comes out of the forest and looks around. The group remains still and advises Dodgson to do the same, but he ignores the warning and makes a run for it. Rexy spots him and chases after the villain. She's about to eat him when the Giganotosaurus rushed out from the other side, knocking down a tree and killing Dodgson. The two giant predators circle around each other, just like they did in the original, and Dr. Grant delivers his "This isn't about us" line before the carnivores fight. The group makes a run for the helicopter while Rexy and the Giga have a fierce battle. Only this time the battle is much more devastating, and the Giga absolutely destroys Rexy. The group watches in horror as the Giga pins Rexy to the ground and lets out a loud roar, while a big text that says "To be continued"